You're listening to Carolina Forest Panther Football on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network. And it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina Forest Panther Football here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network, as it is not only the region opener, but it is the Battle of 501 as the Panthers get set to take on the Conway Tigers here in Conway. My name is Brandon Biskobing. I'll be bringing you all the action, and joining me as usual is Preston Payne as the 3-3 Carolina Forest Panthers get set to take on the 1-6 Conway Tigers, but that one win for Conway is their first region win against St. James. So, interesting matchup there with Conway starting off the region play strong, but not exactly looking like a world beater this season thus far.
No, I don't think so. And with this Conway team, and I mentioned this before, right before we went on air actually, is you play Sumter next week. Mm-hmm. You have to keep your mind on this game.
Yeah,
even though Conway's record might say they're 1-6, they're not as strong of a team. It's still a rivalry game.
Yes,
it's still region play, and
it's a trap game.
It's a trap game, and I think this week will tell me if Carolina Forest's mentality, if their mental is in the game, because good teams not only go and shock the world in teams in what they're not supposed to do, but they beat teams they're supposed to.
Yes.
And I think Conway is a team you're supposed to beat at 1-6 and getting blown out by Hartsville and Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So even though they won last week, I think that says more about St. James than it does Conway.
Yeah, which, I mean, we've talked about it throughout this, season going into region play, but yeah, especially considering that win and looking at some of the scores for Conway in non-region play, as long as Carolina Forest does what they're supposed to do, it is going to be a battle between them and Sumter next week to determine who will be Region 5-5A champions. Like you mentioned, some of the scores that Conway has had in non-region play: lost 55-7 to Hartsville in Hartsville, 51-14 against a not exactly top-notch Myrtle Beach team. This is not the Myrtle Beach team of years past. And then lost 27-8 to North Myrtle Beach, who Carolina Forest
just beat
a couple of weeks ago, beat 42-20 in their final non-region game of the season. That game, if you guys missed it, was a fun one, a very fun one, especially in the first half. Carolina Forest just dominating the Chiefs in the first half. Scored 14 unanswered points in the first quarter, and then started off the second quarter strong with another touchdown following that squib kick that was recovered by Carolina Forest.
Yeah, that game was definitely a weird one.
Yes.
Because we thought we had a safety, and then we didn't. Yeah. It was just a weird game. It was on a Saturday.
It was on a Saturday afternoon as a result of the game being postponed due to weather the night before.
And right, and I think through the first half plus a game for this Carolina Forest team, I think one thing that I told you, and you were even surprised by this, about the efficiency of the rushing attack for Carolina Forest. 3 different players, Jaron Fox, Ethan Hamilton, Khalil Johnson, all rushing for over 8 yards per carry.
And Ethan Hamilton has
12.25 yards per carry. So if we just run with Ethan Hamilton every time, theoretically speaking,
you could get a first down every single time.
But that doesn't, obviously you wouldn't do that. However, it shows how efficient this Carolina Forest offense has been at times. Now, we've also talked about the tale of two halves for the Carolina Forest team. But I think last week was a difference. I think last week they started out really hot, and maybe the offense slowed down a tad, but Khalil Johnson was in and out of the lineup because of an injury or a suspected injury. He's fine. He's good to go tonight. But I think this offense, for the first time, we saw them play at least for 30 minutes of a full game. And I think that's a step in the right direction for this Carolina Forest team.
There's going to be a couple of interesting things to keep an eye out for on the defensive side tonight. Like you meant, or we talked about it before we went on the air, Junior Jimenez is back in the lineup tonight after missing some practice last week. That's why he didn't play last week.
He missed a practice with a wrist injury. It wasn't anything else. He said I went down on the field and talked to him before the game. He said his wrist was hurt, and so they just kept him out of the lineup.
Just a precautionary measure not to play him. But as a result of that, Abach, he dominated last week. So you'd have to wonder.
Yeah, dual Abach.
Do you have him play in this game? You'd have to imagine that he should be playing.
Especially after last week where he had 3 tackles, 2 TFLs, and at least 1 sack.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where do you as a coach look at that and go, you know what, we're just not going to use him anymore? Which I don't think there's a way you can. So what I was talking to you, and I actually talked about this to Junior, and he seemed very on board with that idea of putting Junior and Albach on different ends, and then having Tyreek Livingston play in the middle and just have 8 guys back in coverage saying, you know what, you can't beat us. You can't beat that front line.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So I think there's no way you look at what happened last week and just go, you know what, we're just not going to play him again.
Yeah.
And I would be really upset with the coaching staff if we don't see any of Albach.
Yeah, exactly. On the flip side, on the secondary front, Ronnie Walker not playing tonight due to, I'm guessing some sort of injury.
Some sort of injury. He was on the training table just a couple minutes ago getting treatment on his lower back. Obviously, I'm not going to speculate.
Yeah.
This isn't the NFL where we have an injury report.
Nope.
Not even close. But so all we can do is speculate. But he was not in pads, I don't think. And so we're assuming he's not playing. We will give you an update if anything changes.
Yes.
So going into this game, I think we already talked about how it could be a potential trap game.
Yes.
I would say the one thing that Carolina Forest needs to do well this week is just show a little bit of interest in getting your best players into space. Mm-hmm. And I talked about it before where it's like, what do you do to supplement a passing game where you can't really throw down the field? You throw 2 things, screen passes and drag routes. Mm-hmm. Those 2 things are perfectly fine in an offense where you have Khalil Johnson, Jaron Fox, and Finian Mahood all being able to make moves after the catch.
Yeah.
And especially, and this isn't, and it's not that Ethan Hamilton can't make those throws. It's just that he hasn't shown it this year so far. So what do you do when you can't get your wide receivers involved? You throw screen passes and let them, and it boosts your QB's confidence because he just got a completion. 2, it gives your wide receiver blockers in front of him and gives him room to make plays. And I think that's the adjustment that I want to see in region play is the coaches getting their best players, whether it's Khalil Johnson or whomever else, into space. That way the offense is more effective instead of just running the ball with Khalil Johnson, Jared Fox. Even with how efficient it's been, could you imagine if you had an outside passing play where the defense has to respect that? And that's what the one major thing that I want to see in region play going forward.
Yeah, and like we talked about throughout non-region play, this team, if they can play 4 quarters, they can go far. I think, this could potentially be the year. Obviously, this is for next week, but this could potentially be the year that they finally break the streak of Sumter.
Right.
They are trying to keep another streak alive tonight, trying to go for their 9th straight region opener win. They have not lost a region opener since 2014. That was Mark Morris's first season with the Panthers. Discounting, obviously, a couple of years ago, 2021, the region schedule was weird.
Yeah.
So the first game they technically played in region play was at Sumter, which they lost. But that didn't count for region play because then they subsequently played Sumter later on, which was the official region game. So 8 straight seasons going for their 9th.
Yeah, so going for their 9th. But here's the thing. As a former player of a different sport,
yes,
but
obviously.
As a former player, if I'm Mark Morris, I'm looking at this team and going, look, I know what their record says. I know what the students that have talked to you about the football game are saying about how bad Conway is. I do not care. You need to pretend that this team is 7-0 and they are gunning for a region championship. This is not the time to look ahead to Sumter because we're talking about, it's going to be 1A, 1B. Well, it could very well be 1A or 1 and then 2 instead of 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
If I'm Mark Morris, I'm looking at this team and going, you know what? I don't care what the record says. We have to focus on this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it at the Open. This is your quintessential trap game.
Right.
If you're gonna look ahead to Sumter, this could very easily, especially with it being a rivalry. I mean, look at it wasn't so much. I wouldn't say it was so much a trap game because I don't even know who they're playing Kentucky this week, so it was a little bit of a bigger opponent. But, look at what happened with Georgia and Auburn last week.
Right.
Georgia should have dominated that game, but because it was a rivalry game, it was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would.
Yeah. I think with that, it's what you see in the NFL all the time is at the high school level, there is it's not that much disparity. Like college, if we were having the same situation, we'd be saying, they're going to steamroll them.
Yeah.
Because the difference in talent. Well, at the high school level, you don't really have that much of a difference in talent. So
I mean, you have certain players, but
the entire team across the board is not just that much better.
Exactly.
So you got to think of it like any given Sunday, but in this case, it's any given Friday. So I would say, I think Carolina Forest wins this game handily, but I think there is a world where Carolina Forest looks ahead to Sumter next week at home and is thinking like, okay, this game is a shoo-in, and this game ends up being closer
than it should be. Yes, I don't think they're at risk of losing, but they certainly are at risk of having this be a lot closer than it should be.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. They're doing the coin toss right now.
Yeah, they're doing the coin toss, but it's taking them a while to do the coin toss. And there's still 2.5 minutes on the clock before this game's supposed to start. I believe I didn't see who they pointed to.
Okay.
Carolina Forest will receive the ball. Not sure who won the toss, but either way, Carolina Forest will receive the ball.
And another week that we're in the visitors.
Yeah, so we have everything backwards.
You got to remember that our right is actually left.
Yes.
And our left is actually right.
Yes. So if you're thinking about the field, this newly turfed field in Conway,
I'll tell you what,
the C is backwards.
It does look good.
It does.
And I like how they have the Conway and the Tigers in each end, like we have Carolina Forest and Panthers.
Well, it's Carolina and then Forest.
Yeah. But I like the Conway and the Tigers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. All right, so now that we're within 2 minutes, what's your score prediction for the game?
I'm going to say 49-14.
I'll go 42-7.
Okay.
I think, but it's all dependent on how long the starters stay in.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the big question.
That's
going to be the big thing, and how many points do they score before probably halftime? And we'll play it by ear at that point. But this is a game that I think everyone expects us to win.
Yes.
But again, like we said, quintessential textbook trap game.
It's a game. It is that game that you're looking. On paper, it should be an easy win for Carolina Forest, but you never know, especially in rivalry games.
Oh yeah.
As the Panthers get set to take the field to our left, and both teams coming out onto the field.
Trying to see just to get confirmation that Ronnie Walker's not in pads right now. I don't see a number 3, so I'm almost 100% sure that Ronnie Walker is actually out for the game. I don't see a number 3 anywhere.
So we'll have to see who takes his spot
right.
at the free safety position. Or at the strong safety position.
Yeah.
My bad. As we are just moments away.
And the other thing is we're going to have to wait a possession to see, who fills in that strong safety, but also who fills in for, or how they set up that defensive line with Junior and Dual.
And Abach.
On the line. It
So
will
the Panthers,
be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will be. Panthers will receive the ball to start things off.
And the Soccer St. James game, the other game in the region, already started. It started at 7.
Okay.
St. James is up 7-0 with 4:51
Wow.
to go in the first quarter.
So St. James may be the third team this. Well, although they lost to Conway, so yeah, you're right.
I think it's gonna be like last year was. It was just a bloodbath for that third spot.
Yeah.
Very well could be. Still early in that game, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie Walker is officially out. I see him in a hat and a sweatshirt on the
Oh,
sideline,
yeah.
so he's out.
Cohen Emmerich gets ready to kick it off for Conway. The Panther bench getting fired up on the sideline, and we are underway here in the Battle of 501 as that ball will go out of bounds down the far sideline, and the Panthers will start the ball with the ball on at the 40.
Okay. They're moving.
Yeah,
I was really confused as to why.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, they're
35.
Okay, 35. Okay.
I think we do that every week.
We do.
I think we literally do it every week.
So Panthers start on offense at their own 35-yard line. They'll go with the 2 running back set. 2 wide on the near side to start off this drive. Hamilton looking over to the sideline for a play call. Hamilton gets set. Motions Ober over to the far side. Now takes the snap. Triple option. Pitches it out to Khalil Johnson. Khalil Johnson's got a lane, and he will get taken down just past the 50-yard line. And that will be enough for the first Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down of the evening.
And a wide open hole on that left side of Ethan Hamilton, and was just able to find a crease for Khalil Johnson on that triple option. And if that's what we're going to see all night, this could be a long night for this Conway Tigers defensive line.
They'll go with the 2 running backs once again, 2 wide on the near side. Hamilton motions Ober into the H-back position. This time they'll hand it off to Fox. Fox gets through the hole and gets taken down at the 41-yard line. Just a few yards short of a first down. That'll be a 7-yard gain for Fox, and it will be 2nd and 3.
And we should notice Jaron Fox pretty easily. He's got the pink gloves and the pink socks on for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Going
old school in the NFL.
Old school RG3.
I told you how much I love the RG3 and those pink accessories.
They'll go once again with the 2 running back set. This time Hamilton will keep it himself. Now pitches it out to Johnson, and Johnson will...
He held on to it.
Oh, no, actually, it looked like he was about to pitch it. And with the angle, I couldn't see if he actually pitched it out. He will get taken down at the 36-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And I'll tell you what, Ober is able to lay some good blocks on that outside. Even on when they run the opposite way of where he's blocking, he's able to seal that far side edge and will not allow any ends to come off and make a play on the far side of the field.
Once again, same formation, going with the 2 running backs in the backfield. Motions Ober into the tight end position. Hands it off to Johnson, and Johnson gets a hole. He's got 1 man to beat, and he'll get taken down at the 14-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down, and this rushing attack is just finding all the holes of the Conway defense thus far.
And I'll tell you what, it is just find where Philip McLean is blocking and just follow him.
Well, hey, great job you mentioned that. Philip McLean getting the Coastal Carolina offer this week, so he is definitely on the rise. Once again going with it, this time hands it off to Johnson. Johnson breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and finally a couple of Tigers have to take him down after a gain of a couple.
And that was probably the first time we've seen any push off the line for this Conway defense.
And they'll actually say he only got one, so it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 13-yard line.
And this Conway defense just looks absolutely gassed.
And that's exactly what you want to see for the Panthers offense.
And they don't have the play clock set up, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see when they
I don't know how they're doing that. The play clock is at 0. This time, for the first time, only going with one running back. It's Jaron Fox. He gets the ball handed off and gets held up at the 10-yard line. And it will be 3rd and 6 from the 10-yard line.
And this would be a spot where I just go speed option, Khalil Johnson, Ethan Hamilton, and you just say, you can't stop it. This is what we're going to do.
They will go with Johnson in the backfield, one running back in the back, one wide on either side. Motion, and they will run the speed option. Pitches it out to Johnson. Johnson's got some space, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Okay, I know we were joking about it the other week, past couple weeks, but I am just Tony
You
Romo.
are Tony Romo.
I just need a database of every time that I've called a play before it happened, because that was an absolute I called it as soon as it happened.
And it worked to perfection, like you said it would.
I should be the Panthers play caller. That's what I'm going to transfer from the booth back to the field as an OC.
Go upstairs to the top of the press box. J.J. Chaddick comes out to kick the extra point. It is up and good. And with 8.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, Panthers take the first lead of the game, put the first points on the board, 7-0 here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
First chance to see the Panthers defense tonight after a great 65-yard drive for the Panthers, capped off by a beautiful speed option to Khalil Johnson that Prestadamus called over here.
I swear I do it at least once a week.
Yeah.
Like it's not anything new if you've listened before.
No.
But it's just whenever the Panthers run a play in that third, ran a touchdown drive in 7 plays.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, because there were so many holes opening up in that Tiger defense.
Oh, yeah.
As J.J. Chaddick puts it up, it'll be a short kick fielded at the 20-yard line, spinning out and trying to get around the corner, being pushed out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Actually, they'll mark him down at the 24-yard line.
Right at 25.
Right at the 25, so.
Somewhere in between the two that you said.
Yep, yeah, pretty much. So that's where Conway will start on offense.
I don't see 34.
Yeah,
Albach
so
is not out there. It's Junior Jimenez replacing not replacing him, but taking his spot back from previous weeks, which is kind of concerning.
Shotgun set. 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand it off on the jet sweep. Bouncing out around the edge is number 7, Chris Quick. Actually, that was Justin Hill who made that carry.
And that was a case of Conway's offensive line just being able to seal that outside that outside and was able to just get around the corner and able to pick up some good yards.
This game is going to be tricky to figure out who is getting the ball as they will hand it off to, I believe that's number 19, Trayvon Washington. He gets taken down after a gain of a couple, and it'll be 3rd and 3. Conway has black jerseys with a dark green numbers, so not exactly the easiest to identify.
And I'll tell you what, Washington's coming off a huge week against St. James where he rushed for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, so definitely the main ball carrier in this Conway offense and someone we're going to need to stop this week.
They'll go with the pistol set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off to Washington, and he will get stood up right by the line to gain. They're going to mark him down right at the 35-yard line. We'll see if they give it to him. They are moving the chains, so it'll be a first down for Conway.
And when I tell you, it's basically in the same, like the nose of the football is right on the 35-yard line. That's about as close
I'm
as
surprised they didn't bring out the chains to measure.
Yeah.
They'll go shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Granger.
And Carolina Force sitting in a 4-3 right now. They're bringing that linebacker, like I said, they're bringing that linebacker, and they're basically playing a 3 middle linebacker set, but with a safety coming down, or a cornerback coming into the middle and playing the linebacker position.
Granger takes a snap and goes speed option, and he just a broken play. Granger tries to get around the end on the near side and gets pushed out of bounds at the 36-yard line. It looked like that was supposed to be a speed option, but Granger noticed that the far side of the field was completely covered up, and he just turned around and went down the near side and was able to get maybe a yard.
There's a flag,
but a little bit of innovation there.
And it's on Conway. It was a block in the back.
Oh, okay.
I saw it when it happened. When Granger reversed field, there was an offensive lineman for Conway who basically just shoved number 8 Jordan Sandiford in the back, and they're going to accept this penalty, and it's going to move him back.
So it will become a 1st and 20. Devin Granger, the one player that, the big player for Conway, has offers from Navy and South Carolina State. He's basically their entire offense.
Yeah.
They'll go shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side, no one on the near side, and a whistle is blown. Another flag. I'm guessing it's going to be a false start.
Yep, false start. And push him back some more. So this is where you cannot allow him to get out.
Exactly. This is prime real estate for Carolina Forest to just pin their ears back and, just go after Granger. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Panthers lead it 7-0 after a great drive to start off the game. Great 65-yard drive. They'll go pistol. 3 wide on the far side. Granger takes the snap, hands it off. Oh, no, Granger actually keeps it himself, and he will get waylaid
by Junior Jimenez
at the 13-yard line, and that will make it 2nd and 32. Second from here to Carolina Forest.
And I'll tell you what, we talked about sealing the edge on those outside runs. Junior did a great job.
Yeah.
There was a fake, and he didn't bite on the fake. He let the players who were supposed to keep that lane intact, and he played the outside, and that was a great read by Junior on that play.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side, no one on the far side. 1-step drop for Granger. Granger looking, gets hit as he throws it, and it is almost intercepted.
Xavion Wins was right there, but showing right there why he plays defense and not offense with the dropped interception. That was a duck, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
It's kind of counterintuitive to call it a pass deflection when, but it is what it is, as they say.
So that'll make it 3rd and 32. And Panthers.
And what do you even call here?
I mean, you gotta call a pass here unless you just basically
Or
maybe
giving
a
up?
screen.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. They'll go pistol set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll actually decide to hand it off, breaking through the hole and getting all the way up to the 30-yard line is Washington. And that'll give them. Now you have to wonder. It's only 4th and okay. At first I thought it was only 4th and 5, but it's 4th and 15.
4th and 15, yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna punt it away. Cohen Emmerich comes out to punt it away. He'll get the snap.
That's
And
a good
a
punt.
high punt. Fielded. Oh, no.
Did he muff it? He
did-
muffed it.
He
Wow.
muffed it.
Wow.
And they're going to take it to the house on the muffed punt. And just like that, Conway ties it up. Oh, no.
the
they're
refs are
si-
discussing right now. The refs are discussing.
So we'll have to wait to see what the ruling is. It didn't. What I don't understand
I don't think
is.
it hit. I don't think he touched it.
But what I don't understand is why didn't he call for a fair catch?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're marking it. They're going to mark it
The
at
Carolina
the
Forest
30.
defense is still on the field.
And Mark Morris is way out on the field trying to get some answers from the ref.
Wait, so why is that not a live? Why is that not a touchdown?
Yeah, I don't. Unless it's like.
No, but that's not. It's like a fumble.
Yeah.
It's either a touchdown or it's Panthers ball with a downed.
Now, Conway's offense is still out there, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the Carolina Forest 30.
Oh, okay. This is what we're doing
Another
now.
wonky play. Pistol set, 2 wide on the far side. Granger hands it off, bouncing it to the outside on the far side. Still on his feet, and finally gets taken down at the 20-yard line is Trayvon Washington.
I mean, I guess that goes in Carolina Forest's favor, but
Yeah, but
I'm also confused as to why
yeah.
it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they'll say Washington just barely missed getting a first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 from the 21-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side, or far side, excuse me. They'll hand it off to Washington. Washington gets around the corner and finally gets wrapped up from behind, but not before he gets a first down. Good job right there, however, by Jonathan Rivas, coming from behind and staying with Washington to make the tackle.
Yeah.
So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 16-yard line.
Still kind of confused as to what.
Yeah. Another weird ref
Ref ruling,
decision
yeah.
like what happened last week with the safety. Play action pass, throwing it incomplete and looking for a flag, but none out there. That was intended for Derek Grant, and he was looking for a flag right there.
Derek Grant's limping off right now too, so that's something to keep in mind.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Granger looking over to the sideline for a little while, trying to get a new player on the field, I believe, for Grant. They'll go pistol set, 2 wide on the far side. Granger hands it off, getting through the first level, but not able to get past the second level is Washington, and he'll get taken down at the 14-yard line. And that'll make it a 3rd and 6.
And this is a chance for this defense to just get off the
Yeah.
field after after what
after the
whatever
muff punt.
after whatever you want to call because it's I don't know whatever you want to call it.
Whatever they determined it to be. That's the one upside. I know we'll talk about this when we get to it, but that's the one good thing about St. James's Stadium is that they actually mic up the refs.
As there's going to be a Conway timeout here. That's going to for this Conway offense. So I just saw Scott Saylor walk in. I want you to guess who he's with right now.
Nate Schuessler?
Oh, he is with Nate Schuessler, but who else?
I don't know.
The only person who plays about 5 minutes from here, Grayson McCall. He walked
in with. Okay.
So I see him actually right here. There, Scotty's about 2 rows over, and Grayson McCall's over there as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe Grayson McCall imparting some wisdom to the Scott Saylor to the next generation.
Maybe something to do with Phil McLean getting an offer
that is also true.
A couple days ago.
Conway decided to take a timeout with 2:01 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't know what that ruling was, though.
I don't know
I'm
either.
Still confused.
Yeah. But, I mean, if the Panthers can
get a stop here,
stop
it's in
them,
their favor.
It helps them. Conway will go shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Granger takes a snap, rolls out to his right, and throws it on the run, completed along the sideline, and that'll be short. He only got a yard on that reception.
You know who I'm seeing on the field right now? Dual Albach.
Oh, okay.
Albach's on the field right now. He was on the rush. If Granger hadn't been rolling to his right, that would have been a pressure by Albach. As it looks like it might be a they're keeping the offense on the field.
That was Jordan Jenkins who made that catch.
No,
they're kicking the field goal. Yeah. They're bringing out LaRue Hedges to attempt the 27-yard kick, and it is good.
Barely.
So with 1:51 left to go, it is 7-3. Panthers in lead, and the Panthers will get the ball back to try to have another strong drive to end out the first quarter. We'll take a quick break and come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Comfort Dog Grooming Salon has been part of the Carolina Forest community pet grooming needs with quality and loving care for your pets for over 15 years. Large, medium, or small, they groom them all. They've always accepted new clients, and rebooking is easy. With 31 years experience with their staff, they're up to date on techniques and safety standards for all breeds, and the medical distance are no problem. They're active in your community with youth sports and lending a helping hand. Call them to be a part of the family with your furry friend. 843-903-4554 or at ComfortDogSalon.com. Or just stop by with your furry friend at 4006 Postal Way, Myrtle Beach.
Panthers getting set to receive the ball once again at the end of the first quarter. Up 7-3, and while obviously the muffed punt wasn't a good thing, good job by the defense in, backed up against their own end zone, being able to get at least a partial stop.
Oh, yeah.
The kick is a short. They're going to
squib, but it was caught. Carolina Forest, I can't see 85 with the catch in the first line of the.
That was River Thane who made the catch on the first line
of the squib.
It was it supposed to be a squib, or were they trying to go for an onside?
It was a line drive kick to him. So I think it was a squib.
I think but I think what they were trying to do was make it bounce off of the Panther player and then come back to Conway.
Maybe, but from what I've seen from the Conway kicker so far, I don't think he has the leg to ricochet it like that.
True. So the Panthers will get the ball in some decent field position on their own 47-yard line. We'll go shotgun set with 2 wide on the near side. Hamilton hands it off to Khalil Johnson. Khalil Johnson breaks through one man, still carrying another Tiger all the way up to the 42-yard line of Conway, and that'll be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And just a great run right there by Khalil Johnson. There's not much more you can say about that. That was just right in between the tackles, bounces off one guy, and was able to get to the second level for a big gain right there.
We'll go shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Hamilton, play action pass, looking down the field, throws it deep to a wide open Phineas Mahood and just a little out of reach.
I'll tell you what, though, that's a nicely placed ball by Ethan Hamilton, because you have a safety or a cornerback on the near side on the sideline, and if Ethan Hamilton throws that where it's hitting him in the chest, it's a pick. It's a pick.
Yeah.
So Ethan Hamilton throwing it to the inside, leading him away from the defender, that's a pretty good throw. It's just Phineas Mahood couldn't hang on to it.
A good post route by Phineas Mahood as well, but just a little out of reach, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
There was a flag on the play.
Yeah, I believe it was holding. So that'll push the Panthers back to their own 48-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 20 with 1:17 left to go in the first quarter.
I do like the play action there.
Yes.
You've been running the ball. That's your first pass play, and you saw what it did to the Conway defense. It brought all the middle linebackers up, which is exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's what you do. You use you use the run game to set up the passing game. They'll go speed option. Hamilton will keep it himself this time and gets plowed down at the 45-yard line. That was Moses Freshley with the tackle. And it'll be a 2nd and 13.
And you don't need to get it all back on one play. You don't need to get all those yards back. And I think a 7-yard gain is perfectly fine.
Especially this part of the field, you'd have to imagine that with how Mark Morris is, this is 4-down territory.
Oh, yeah.
40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side, plus the H-back. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson gets a lane. He's going down the near side sideline, and he will get pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line. But that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And I'll tell you what, Khalil Johnson just looks that much more explosive. And it might be because they had a week off. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But Khalil Johnson just looks that much better this week. And I don't know. He must have ate his Wheaties.
Go shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. This time they'll hand it off to Jaron Fox. Fox just plows his way into the maul and gets taken down at the 11-yard line. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. So after 1, Panthers lead it 7-3. We'll take a quick break and come right back with the second quarter here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Second quarter about to get underway with the Panthers leading 7-3.
And I'll tell you what, Khalil Johnson, we mentioned how explosive he is right now. 90 yards already through 1 quarter.
Wow.
It's slightly ridiculous.
Yes. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, he's got the one yard carry, and outside of that, it's a 10, a 22, a 28, a 12, and a 17. Like, it is what we expected, and then some, I think, because I don't think even Khalil Johnson envisioned him going for 90 yards in 1 quarter and still having about 11 yards to go before he gets in the end zone.
Yeah,
presumably.
And the offensive line is just opening up gaping holes
So it's a combination of two things. Khalil Johnson not getting touched until the second level, and Khalil Johnson breaking tackles 1 or 2 at least every run, and getting to that third level.
Either breaking tackles or literally carrying Conway players for an extra 3 or 4 yards.
Oh, yeah.
They'll go shotgun set with 1 wide on the near side. Go heavy set. Hamilton takes the snap, hands it off to Fox. Fox finds a hole and gets taken down at the 4-yard line, but that will be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And as I'm getting ready to say this, we thought it was going to be Christopher Livingston as the change of pace back, but right now it's Jaron Fox as they're bringing Christopher Livingston.
Looks
in.
like Livingston's basically the goal line back.
Yeah, I would say in general that's true.
Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. H-back on the near side. Hamilton hands it off to Livingston, and Livingston just powers his way over the goal line for the touchdown.
And that was just a power run right up the middle from Christopher Livingston.
He just went right into the body of a Conway defender and just pushed him. It basically was like the offensive line, the blocking. The blocking.
Yeah, I know. The blocking dummies.
Yeah, the blocking dummies, exactly.
And it is up and good from J.J. Chaddick.
So with a little over half a minute coming off the clock in the second quarter, the Panthers lead it 14-3. And, it looks like there's nothing this Conway defense can do to stop the Carolina Forest rushing game.
Oh, not at all. And it just looks like it's going to be a career night for Khalil Johnson. He's only got the one. He's got one of the touchdowns already. 90 yards rushing.
Yeah.
It's going to be not that it hasn't been all season, but it's going to be the Khalil Johnson show.
Yes.
I think he posted he's got 800 and 843 yards going into this game.
Okay.
And
so he'll almost certainly break 1,000 tonight.
Oh yeah, I'd say if not that, then at least 2. He gets over 1,000, maybe even 50 at this rate.
Yeah.
It is a good showing by this Carolina Forest offense that he's able to not even be touched until the second level.
Yeah. And we talked about it last year a little bit, but he has that dual threat of both the power and speed.
But that is not something that he had last year.
Yeah.
So it shows the evolution of his game.
Yeah, he has definitely.
I'm kind of surprised he's not getting looked at more in terms of offers, because you're telling me he can't, as J.J. Chaddick's going to send one, it's going to be a little bit of a pooch kick. It's going to be fielded at the 21-yard line. Reversing field is Conway, and he's got some blockers out in front of him. He's out to the 30. Then pushed out right in front of the 35-yard line. It'll depend on the spot. He's going to be up above the 35-yard line to the 38-yard line, and that's where Conway will start. But like I was saying, you're telling me at least a D2 program somewhere has no use for a speedy back that can run in between the tackles?
Yeah. I mean, it may be a situation like what happened with Scott last year, where he doesn't start getting those offers until after the season.
Yeah.
So Conway comes back on the field on offense. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Granger, play action pass, looking to throw it, backing up and just heaves it up, but a wide open receiver catches it, and that'll be a first down.
Wow.
I believe that was Jordan Jenkins who made the catch.
And he was just sitting wide open in the middle of the field. There was good pressure, though, by Junior Jimenez on the rush, but just not able to get to him, and he's just sitting wide open. You just kind of throw that one up there, and just he comes down with
a good job, although it was definitely a risky pass. A good job by Granger to be able to loft that one up with a man in his face.
Right.
They'll go pistol now, 2 wide on the far side. They'll play action. Granger keeps it himself and just rushes forward and will get taken down by Braylon Fernandez after a gain of 3.
Again, but we talked about it with Junior on the previous drive of him not getting caught lacking on the edge. Well, Braylon didn't have any. It was a QB draw, and he didn't bite on any of the passing jumbo that they had going on and was able to just kind of shut that one down.
2nd and 7, ball on the Carolina Forest 39. Pistol set, 2 wide on the far side, 1 wide plus the H-back on the near side. They'll hand it off, and getting taken down after a gain of 1 is Trevon Washington.
And this is where Carolina Forest defense, especially the past couple years, has thrived. 3rd and long has been Carolina Forest bread and butter with how good their pass rush has been. And they've gotten pressure. It's just, can they cover downfield for 4 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, maybe to get that pass rush in there?
It'll be 3rd and 7. Shotgun set, actually pistol set, 2 wide on the near side. Granger takes the snap, play action, passes on a screen pass, and it goes over the head of Chris Quick, and he was not able to hang on to that pass, and they'll make it 4th and 7.
And you're kind of in no man's land if you're Conway, so I would assume you go for it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Granger's staying on the field, so.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 7 from the 38-yard line of Carolina Forest. 9.5 minutes left to go in the first half. 14-3, Panthers in the lead.
Now, you saw what they just ran. They just ran a screen pass. If they fake a screen pass here, I would not be surprised and try to create some action.
Granger will roll out to his left, throw it deep, and it is caught at the 1-yard line and falls into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow. That was a miscommunication.
Derek Grant with the catch and the touchdown reception.
Wow.
Yeah, Granger just lofted it up, and Grant was able to get underneath it and make the catch for the touchdown. And now the extra point.
Pending. And, yeah, that was the miscommunication.
Yeah.
Xavier Wins and Jamari Davis. Xavier Wins on the outside thought they were switching. Clearly, Jamari Davis did not, and that just left him wide open. And it wasn't like he was wide open. It just gave Derek Grant that one extra step that he needed. And
are they going for it?
No, they're backing up. They're
okay.
going. They had the spread PAT formation.
The extra point is up and good. And with 9:17 remaining in the first half, it's 14-10. Carolina Forest in the lead. But, yeah, this game, I mean, we talked about it during the pregame. This game is a lot closer than I think a lot of people expected going into it. And that rivalry aspect has to be playing a factor.
And you got to wonder, with Sumter next week, you got to wonder, is this team looking ahead?
Yeah.
Or, because we saw it in different aspects of the two games between Stratford and Northern Beach, where Carolina Forest at times played down to their competition.
Yeah.
Is this a situation of that as well?
Yes. Could very well be. But the Panthers will, I mean, I don't think the Panthers are in any real danger.
But I think it's going to be the second half adjustment, or realistically the second quarter adjustment's got to be defending the deep ball.
Yeah.
Because that's the only two plays that really Conway even got were the two deep passes.
Yeah, the secondary, which I wonder as the kick is up, it will be caught at the 15-yard line. Taken out, has a lane, and getting taken down at the 35-yard line.
Charles McCray.
That was Charles McCray with the carry on the return, and if he could have gotten maybe past one more guy, he might have been gone.
That was a good return though, because he got the ball at the 15 and was able to bring it up all the way to the 37, and that makes a huge difference. When you can get 20 yards, 2 first downs basically for free, that's huge for an offense.
But I wonder how much the passing game being productive for Conway is as a result of Ronnie Walker.
That also could be a thing.
So Carolina Forest on offense once again will start on their own 37-yard line. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Hamilton will hand it off to Khalil Johnson. Johnson gets a hole, breaks one tackle, and gets wrangled down right past the line to gain. And that'll be a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. He'll get taken down at the 48-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Phil McLean was pulling on that play, and if there's one thing that I don't want to see as a defender, it's Phil McLean coming at you with a full head of speed. That's ridiculous.
Shotgun set, one wide on either side. They'll hand it off. Oh, no, Hamilton keeps it himself. He's got a lane. He's got the first down and more and gets taken down at the 36-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And now, if Ethan Hamilton starts running the ball, I don't know.
You're done.
You're just there's just nothing you can do about that.
I mean, we talked about it during the pregame. Hamilton, as they'll hand it off this time, hands it off to Khalil Johnson. Johnson tries to get around the corner and gets pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and that'll be enough. Well, wait. Yep, there we go. It's enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. But we mentioned it during the pregame show. Hamilton, Khalil Johnson, and Jaron Fox all over 8 yards per carry, and they're just adding on to it tonight as they'll hand it off to Johnson again, this time pulled down by a bunch of Tigers, and that'll be a smaller gain, still a decent gain, a 4-yard gain, but it'll be 6-yard gain, and it'll be a 2nd and 4 from the 20.
And we said, a small gain being 6 yards is just, if you take that out of context, it's absolutely ridiculous. But it's applicable in this situation with how well Khalil Johnson
Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Hamilton keeps himself on the read option. He's got a lane down the far side. He's going towards the end zone, but will get pushed out of bounds at around the 7-yard line. And that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
No, he's down at the 1.
Oh, no, okay. The soccer lines got me weird out. So, yeah, he'll get knocked out at the 1-yard line, so it'll be first and goal from the 1. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. They'll hand it off to Livingston, and he'll just plow his way into the end zone once again for his second touchdown of the night. And the Panthers take a 20-10 lead, and the extra point will make it 21-10.
You want to talk about efficiency? Christopher Livingston, 2 carries, 2 touchdowns for 5 yards.
Yep. Hey, that's what you want out of your goal line back. The extra point by J.J. Chaddock is up and good. And with 7.5 minutes left to go in the first half, it is 21-10. And
do we have a shootout on our hands?
yes, we do. We do. I mean, you talked about it. Maybe not quite on the margin of victory level, but you talked about it before we went on the air, wanting to put up 80.
Yeah. It's going to be we might get there, too.
Yeah.
Still kind of a long ways for that.
Yeah.
But if both of these teams keep
on scoring the way they have,
it could get to that point.
Yeah.
But I hope for the defense's sake, I hope it's not that.
Yes. So the Panthers will get ready to kick it off once again. And like I mentioned, not that they really have to worry because of how well the offense is running tonight, but especially for some confidence going into next week, you hope to see a defensive stop on one of these drives.
Oh, yeah.
So J.J. Chaddock will get ready to boot it away. The kick, and the ball fell off the tee, so reset it. Chaddock backs up once again. And this time he is able to get it off.
Oh, my.
And he launches it all the way into the back of the end zone for the touchback.
Jesus. Like, I don't know why they don't do that every single
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
I just don't understand.
I don't know. But the Tigers will take over on offense at their own 20-yard line. And, I mean, we've talked about it before in previous games, but especially considering it's not like in college or the NFL where it's the 25.
Yeah, it's
You
the
start
20.
on the 20. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Granger motions. One of his receivers, they'll throw a screen pass. It's caught. Trying to get around. A good spin move. Still on his feet. And finally getting taken down at the 35-yard line is Derek Grant.
I'll tell you what, that screen pass was very well blocked. There was a corner on the play, but there was a wide receiver also out there with Derek Grant who was able to lay a block and give Derek Grant some space, which is exactly what I've been trying to say with this Carolina Forest Panthers offense is get your best players into space.
Granger looking over to the sideline for a play. Shotgun set, 1 wide on the near side. 1 wide on either side. They'll hand it off, trying to get through the hole, but gets tripped up by the turf, and Junior Jimenez finishes it off on the tackle on Washington, and it'll be a loss of 1.
I'll tell you what, it was Junior, but also we talked about setting the outside. Gary Tomlin was on the outside there and was just pushing his offensive lineman or his tight end back into the face of the running back, and that's huge whenever you can set the edge like that and force him back inside to Junior Jimenez.
Yeah. So that'll make it 2nd and 12. They'll go shotgun set with 2 wide on the far side. Actually, go pistol. Motions the H-back over to the far side. Play action pass, throws a screen pass, and it's caught by Grant, and he will step out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Actually, they're going to put him down at the 37-yard line. And so that'll make it a 3rd and 8.
And again, defense on 3rd and 8 just needs to lock it down right here and get this offense back on the field that hasn't been able to be stopped in this game so far.
This could be a big stop for the Carolina Forest defense. Get some confidence on their side. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Granger takes a snap, rolls out to his left, has some pressure by Jimenez, and he throws it, and it is caught.
Ooh, it was caught. That was a big hit by Charles McCray right there to try to knock that ball loose, but great job by the receiver to hang on to that ball.
That was Justin Mudhill who made the catch, and it will be enough for a Conway first down.
And Dual Albach back on the field for this play. And we've seen him in spurts, but we haven't seen him on the field a whole lot. And I think they are subbing him and Junior back out for each other, in and out for each other.
1st and 10 from the 50. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll run a jet sweep to Mudd, and he'll get the corner and gets pushed out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 44.
And it's not the passing game that's killing us so
far.
far. It's the running game now, and that's the more worrisome is we kind of knew this Carolina Forest pass defense wasn't as good as the running defense, but when the running defense starting to kind of get bullied a little bit at the front at the line of scrimmage, that's when I start to get worried.
Yeah.
Because that's been the strength of this Carolina Forest defense
exactly
for the past couple of years.
2nd and 4. Ball on the 44-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side, plus the H-back. They'll hand it off. Oh, no. Granger decides to keep it himself, and he'll get taken down at the 41-yard line, just short of the line to gain.
And, again, Panthers' run defense is allowing holes now.
Yeah.
And it might be because they're trying to play the pass.
Yeah, now they're worried about the passing game, and as a result, it's opening up holes for the run.
And I'll tell you what, Jamari Davis, who's usually playing in that cornerback 2 spot,
he's
is
playing the
safety position right now.
He's playing the strong safety position in replacement of Ronnie Walker. They'll play action, and a little dump off to Grant. He gets a hole and gets pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Conway first down.
While we have a little bit of a break, halftime in Socastee. Socastee and St. James are tied at 14.
Wow.
Going into halftime. So just to keep an eye on that score.
They'll mark him down at the 33-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10.
And timeout being taken by Conway.
So, they're going to say it's Carolina Forest that takes the timeout.
Which, again, could be important because if maybe Carolina Forest gets this ball back kind of soon, they only got 2 more timeouts to run some clock.
So with 3:16 remaining in the first half, Panthers up 21-10. We'll take a quick break and come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Comfort Dog Grooming Salon has been part of the Carolina Forest community pet grooming needs with quality and loving care for your pets for over 15 years. Large, medium, or small, they groom them all. They've always accepted new clients, and rebooking is easy. With 31 years experience with their staff, they're up to date on techniques and safety standards for all breeds, and the medical distance are no problem. They're active in your community with youth sports and lending a helping hand. Call them to be a part of the family with your furry friend. 843-903-4554 or at ComfortDogSalon.com. Or just stop by with your furry friend at 4006 Postal Way, Myrtle Beach.
3:16 left to go in the first half. Panthers up 21-10. And the Tigers are driving right now, trying to reduce that lead. Shotgun set. 2 wide on the far side for Conway. They'll actually go pistol. They'll hand it off. Washington tries to get through the line and gets stood up at the 31-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 9.
And so Jamari Davis is playing that strong safety, but number 19, someone's name we haven't called a lot this year on defense.
Number
19, Carson Quant is also playing safety. It's Carson.
Yep.
He's playing safety, and that's not a name that we've called a lot this year.
Yeah, and
either.
he's listed as a linebacker on the master roster. 3-step drop for Granger. Granger will roll out to his right and throw it on the run. Incomplete. Just threw it away there. And it'll make it a 3rd and 8. And again, another big play right here where can the defense finally get a stop.
Oh yeah. And this defense has shown parts of the game where they've played well.
Yeah.
But it's getting an entire drive or an entire 3-down set of good defense and stopping this Tiger defense.
And also with where the ball is, you have to imagine that we're in 4-down territory.
Yeah. I don't even think no matter the down and distance, I think you're in no man's land here and you go for it.
Yeah. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Granger, high snap, rolls out to his left, then the right. Now scrambling out, looking for a play, and he just runs into his own offensive lineman, and a prowl of Panthers takes him down. Primarily Quant, like you mentioned, or excuse me, actually,
18.
That was number 18. That was A.J. Palmer, who was the primary tackler on that sack.
And I said no matter the down and distance.
Now I'm not so sure.
Never mind. I take that back. As there's a Tiger down.
It is 4th and 17. And the refs.
They ruled it incomplete.
Oh, they said he got the pass off?
Wow.
I didn't even see him throw it.
Wow. Wow.
So now, they're going to move it back to the original.
Or not, well, to where it was before.
Yeah.
That's slightly ridiculous.
So now, yes, they probably will go for it on 4th and 8.
I'll tell you what. SCHSL refs need to – there needs to be an investigation because it seems like every game that Carolina Forces played in the area, they've gotten somehow hosed on a call.
And there's a pass interference call now on –
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I think they're talking to Mark Morris to calm down or he's going to get penalized.
Oh, okay. But
that gives the Tigers another opportunity to go for it on fourth down here.
So, they're going to go for it on 4th and 8. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Granger, 5-step drop, looking, still looking, wide open down the field and incomplete. You have to wonder, there is no flag, though.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
For a second, I thought that Grant was tripped up.
No.
Because he went down. I wasn't sure if they were going to throw a flag on that.
Yeah, and actually, someone we mentioned it being new, Carson Quant was on the covers there, and he actually played that very, very well. The ball wasn't even really accurately thrown.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Had it been thrown pretty accurately, I think Carson Quant made a play on that and made the incompletion anyway. But
it will be a turnover on downs, and the Panthers get the ball on their own 32-yard line with 2 minutes left to go in the half. They'll hand it off to Khalil Johnson. Johnson finds a hole and finally gets held up by a prowl of Tigers at the 41-yard line. Second and 1. Shotgun set. They'll hand it off. Oh, no. Hamilton keeps it himself. Finds a lane and finally gets taken down at the 49-yard line of Conway. That will be a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And, again, but here's the thing. If you're going to run the ball, you got to kind of hurry up because you have a minute 34.
Yeah, now you only have a minute and a half left to go. Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side.
Do have the 2 timeouts, but you gotta
move.
Yeah.
And they're taking a while to get this play off. Hamilton finally does. Speed option. He'll keep it himself. He's got a lane. He's got the first down and more. Gets taken down at the 32-yard line. That'll be another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down with a minute 12 left to go in the half.
Again, you got to go. You have the clock stoppage for the first down, but you got to go if you're going to run the ball, which I completely agree with because you have the 2 timeouts still, but you got to go. Clock starts back up. You're at a minute 09.
Clock has started once again. Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. Hamilton takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson gets held up at the 30-yard line, only gets a gain of 1. And now a timeout is called by Carolina Forest with 55 seconds left to go in the half.
And I wouldn't say terrible clock management.
No,
I think that's pretty good on Mark Morris's part. And now I would say you kind of have to pass.
I'd say you can run it at least one more time and see if you can get a big gain. Because think about it. If you get a first down, now one thing that I would say if I were Mark Morris is I'd have multiple plays already fed into Ethan Hamilton to where you can, because the clock stops on a first down.
Right.
So if you can get to the line, as soon as the clock starts running, you just snap it.
That's also reliant on a first down.
Well, but with how effective the running game has been, that's why I say give it one more chance of running it. If you get the first down, then you can continue.
If not, you call
a timeout, then you have to start passing.
Right. Now, I hate to call it twice in a row, but I'd say speed option.
Yeah,
I'd say speed option.
I would agree.
To that far side sideline where you have Philip McLean bouncing out to the outside.
And it doesn't look like they do, but I would have brought in Jaron Fox as well, have the double running back set, and do a triple option.
Yeah, but I think in this situation, you go speed option just because you don't even want to have the thought of this gets turned into a loss.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side, and they'll go with the speed option. Pitches it out to Johnson. Johnson's got 1 man to beat, and he will get pulled down at the 11-yard line, but that will be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm first down.
What did I say? Remind me again?
Prestadamus.
I swear, it's twice in a row, but they actually did. They ran it to the near side sideline instead of the far side where Phillip is. And they're not calling a timeout, which is exactly what you said.
Because they have the time. They'll hand off to Johnson. Johnson just pulls the Tiger into the end zone with him for the touchdown.
Wow, what a drive by this Carolina Forest offense. It was – they got the ball at their own, 37?
Yeah.
Or so, and was just able to run a 2-minute drill with no passing play.
Yep. So with 36.7 seconds left to go in the half, Panthers now after the extra point. The extra point by J.J. Chaddock is up and good. And with 36.7 seconds left to go in the half, it is 28-10. And the defense finally got stopped. So now all sides are firing.
Yeah. And the most important part about that is the fact that now the 2-for-1, even if Conway gets it, it's still a 3-possession game at this point.
Yeah.
So now the 2-for-1 doesn't even really matter right now, even if Conway somehow scores in the next 36 seconds.
Yes.
Back to the 2 times I say speed option, they run it. I think I should start playing the lottery. It's actually illegal because I'm underage.
Yes.
But you know what? No one has to know.
You could give me your numbers.
I will not do that. Unless you verbally say on the air that you'll give me at least half the winnings, if not more.
Oh, of course.
We'll talk about that off. But seriously, this Carolina Forest offense is firing on all cylinders. Khalil Johnson able to do whatever he wants, and this Panthers offense is looking absolutely dominant.
So the Panthers will kick it off with 36.7 seconds left to go in the half. And, I mean, with how well their passing game has been, do you think Conway does maybe try something as J.J. Chaddock will just launch it into the end zone again and give the Conway Tigers the ball at the 20?
I don't think Carolina Forest entirely does something.
No, you mean Conway.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But I won't be surprised if they just take a shot, maybe.
Yeah.
You just throw a deep pass.
Maybe take one shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
They do also still have 2 timeouts left. So.
And Albach, they're doing exactly what I said to do.
Having both Albach and Junior
out there on both ends.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Granger takes the snap, hands it off, and
on cue, Albach.
And Albach makes the tackle on Washington after a gain of maybe 1. And looks like Conway is just going to let this clock run out into the half.
On cue, dual Albach. As I say it.
Yeah.
I think everything I says comes true.
That will end the first half. So at the half, the score is 28-10. Panthers in the lead. We'll take a quick break and come right back with some first half stats and analysis and get you ready for the second half here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Comfort Dog Grooming Salon has been part of the Carolina Forest community pet grooming needs with quality and loving care for your pets for over 15 years. Large, medium, or small, they groom them all. They've always accepted new clients, and rebooking is easy. With 31 years experience with their staff, they're up to date on techniques and safety standards for all breeds, and the medical distance are no problem. They're active in your community with youth sports and lending a helping hand. Call them to be a part of the family with your furry friend. 843-903-4554 or at ComfortDogSalon.com, or just stop by with your furry friend at 4006 Postal Way, Myrtle Beach.
Welcome back as we are at halftime. with the Carolina Forest Panthers leading the Conway Tigers 28-10 in the Battle of 501. And we'll get some first half stats from Preston. Preston?
So, Khalil Johnson, I'm voting for Horry County
Player of the Week. Yeah. Or
already
even
had
even 5A Player of the Week.
we'll see how the second half goes.
Yeah.
But if this keeps up like it is, 159 yards,
Okay.
2 touchdowns, and just absolutely smoking the competition. He's got 13 carries, so just to give you context a little bit. But just an absolute crushing by Khalil Johnson. Ethan Hamilton, chill night, 73 rushing yards on 6 carries. Nothing crazy or anything.
Just averaging over 10 yards a carry.
Right. It's so funny because we were talking about how little Ethan Hamilton's getting in the run game, and he's sitting with 73 yards. Like, it's just ridiculous. Christopher Livingston with the 2 carries, 5 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Just
that's one of those the flex bat, like one of those like you just stick in on a fantasy team because you know he's the goal line
you know
back.
what it is?
What?
It's Jamal Williams from last year
Yeah.
from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
It's exactly what that is. And then Jaron Fox with 4 carries for 24 yards, so sitting right at 6 yards a carry. But I'll tell you what, this offense sitting currently with 261 yards of total offense, just absolutely killing them.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely ridiculous what they are doing right now to this Conway defense. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. You can't get much better than that on offense. You actually cannot do better than that.
No.
And
you have to wonder, I forget if when we talked about this with comparing them, considering the teams we've faced off against, are we thinking Sumter is a better running defense or passing defense?
Based on Somerville, I think it was because I think it was the Somerville week. I think they're a better running defense.
Oh,
because they played Oceanside and won and was able to hold Eichenbach or whatever his last name was for little to no offense. So I think they're a better running defense. But if this offensive line plays like they did, I don't think it matters.
Yeah,
it will definitely be a strength on strength type of thing. But I don't think it really matters I don't think it matters, to be honest. On the defensive side of the ball, Jonathan Rivas is playing pretty well. He's actually leading the team with Junior Jimenez with 3 tackles. And then the combined sack of A.J. Palmer and Gary Tomlin. And then Dual Albach has been in and out of the lineup, exchanging out with Junior Jimenez. But he's got the tackle for loss at the end of that half. And a couple of plays where he was able to get a pressure on the quarterback and stuff of that nature. It just seems where he's always disrupting something.
Yeah.
It's never where the quarterback can get his feet set and make a play. It's not the fact that he's getting sacks or tackles for loss or anything like that. It's just he is disruptive. And it allows Tyreek Livingston and Junior Jimenez and even Jared Serrato and Braylon Fernandez, all of the defensive players around him get better because he's in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is the sign of a really good player is when someone can do that.
Yeah, it's one of those players where – on the stat line it may not look like you're doing a ton, but you're allowing your fellow defenders to make some good plays.
And it's the whole theory behind why Draymond Green is so important to the Warriors.
Exactly.
He may put up 6 points in a game, but he's affecting the game. He's going to have 12 rebounds and 10 assists.
Or like Darrell Revis. When he was in his dominant form,
right.
He wasn't so much getting many stats just simply because he was such a shutdown corner.
They weren't throwing it at him.
They weren't throwing it to him.
Which is exactly why you look at how many yards they gave up versus how many interceptions. Like that's the whole thing with like Trayvon Diggs is he has a lot of interceptions, but if you look at his yards given up, it's through the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's one of those things where and at the end of the half, they did it. They did what I said to do in the beginning was play Junior Jimenez on one side, Dual Albach on the other, and say, you know what? Try to run the ball against this defense.
Yeah.
And I think that's the adjustment that you have to make.
Yeah. And, I mean, and we'll talk about it a little more in a little bit, but it seems like the defense has gotten better in the second quarter, but you still have that issue of the secondary not being as strong as they should. What would you do to
I would almost play not necessarily a cover 3 because that leaves you susceptible underneath.
Yeah.
But maybe a cover 2 shell where you have. So a lot of the times running backs on the high school level won't really go out of the running. If they're passing, they're going to pass block. So take that linebacker. So if you're playing man, and this is just defensive theory, if you're playing man and the running back doesn't go out, the person who's designated the
running back
just plays a free safety type of role. If you want to do that and say, all right, if Washington doesn't come out of the backfield on a passing play, you send that linebacker in the deep middle third and just nothing gets behind you.
Yeah.
That would be an adjustment I make. Now, that is definitely more advanced than a lot of it. So if, let's say, on college and the NFL, you see it a lot, but on the high school level, you don't because it's that just the linebacker has to notice, okay, my guy's pass blocking.
Exactly.
I push back.
Yeah.
It is, but if in a utopic world, that is what I would do.
Yeah.
You send. I would send Jared Serrato because I think he's the more athletic of the linebackers. But say, all right, we're going to play cover 2 man, and basically it's just the two safeties.
Two safeties
push,
and then
push
everyone
out.
else play man.
Yeah, right. So just the two safeties push out to the sides, and then everyone else play man. But say, hey, Jared Serrato, if you see Washington come out of the backfield, that's where you play man there. If you don't see him
just staying back,
then
a
you play deep middle third. And just say, you know what, that's the adjustment I would do.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where, like I said, does the coaching staff believe in the Panthers enough to do that?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's the skill issue. But that's what I would do. On the running side, or on the offensive side, if it ain't broke,
there's nothing you need to fix on the offensive front. So, looking at the next level, last week for the Panthers, David Leggett rushed for 22 yards and a touchdown for Wofford on 7 carries, and he also caught 1 pass for 8 yards. This week, Campbell travels to Hampton and Wofford hosting Samford. Conway has a few players at the next level. Gunnar Britton, a senior at Auburn. Nathan Thompson and Cameron Alston, both from last year's team. Thompson at Coastal and Alston at Dartmouth. Darren Granger, who is the brother of Devin Granger, he's at Georgia State and absolutely torched Coastal a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, you know.
I don't want to.
And Tonka Hemingway's at South Carolina. And have a couple of guys at the further next level, at the NFL level. Well, either NFL or other pro leagues. Raekwon O'Neal, offensive lineman for your Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, sir.
And Jermaine Martin, running back, played for the Orlando Guardians of the XFL last season. And last season he rushed for 258 yards and a touchdown on 65 carries and caught 7 passes for 10 yards. Last week for Darren Granger, he went 19 of 29 passing for 193 yards and an interception, while rushing for 25 yards on 11 carries and fumbling it twice. And this week, Dartmouth is hosting Yale. Any update on Socastee St. James?
I was just looking at it. The last update was the halftime score 27 minutes ago. So that is all we
You'd have to imagine that they would have started the third quarter by now, but I guess no.
I guess nothing's happened.
Nothing has happened since then. Next week, Sumter travels to Carolina Forest. That will be the big matchup that will
definitely be the game of the week.
Essentially determine who wins Region 5-5A, you would have to assume. And Conway will travel to Socastee. So, what? Oh, one other thing I don't think I had a chance to mention it during the pregame show. Mark Morris going for his 160th win in his coaching career tonight.
Good for Mark Morris.
Yeah.
And it's we said a lot of bad things about him last year.
Season. Yeah.
It was got to the point where there were coaches who were teachers who were seeing me in the hallway and going, lay off Mark Morris for a little bit. But I think it's the difference between last year Scotty Saylor not running his offense and him wanting to be a run-heavy offense versus this year where this scheme is exactly what he wants to do.
The personnel and the playbook is falling perfectly in alignment.
Yeah. And I think it's almost where Mark Morris it's going to sound bad because we could realistically be at least 5-1 right now, if not 6-0.
Yeah.
But I think Mark Morris doesn't make the adjustments he needs to all the time. And I think that's what puts him in positions like we were last year where we didn't get the full scope of the offense until halfway through the year.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's just rough.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
That and the offensive line being young last year.
Well, yes.
Like this offensive line that we're seeing now with Philip McLean and just everyone being just better.
Yeah.
They were just young last year. They were either juniors or sophomores. So,
this year you have two. Well, it's still not exactly, it's not like they're all seniors. You only have 2 seniors and 3 juniors.
Yeah.
So, still you have those 3 juniors that will be coming back next season. But, yeah, the Panthers, as long as they play the way that they've been playing in the first half, they should be okay. The key is going to be, can they keep this up against Sumter next week?
Yeah. That will truly be it. So, I don't know who decided, this is going to be outside of the region or whatever.
Okay.
But I don't know who decided that Wilson was going to make their homecoming game against South Florence.
Okay.
So, there was a little bit of banter going on because every team thinks about what the scheduled homecoming game is. When Sockesty made the Carolina Forest Panthers their homecoming game, there was lots of talk of, this is some crap about how it's their homecoming. Well, Wilson posted about how it was the homecoming game.
Yeah.
So, South Florence fans started chanting, "We ready," like the song.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game. The whole thing was, don't poke the bear that South Florence was pushing before the game.
Yeah.
Guess what the halftime score is?
35-0.
It's way worse than that.
Way worse?
51-7.
Oh. Yeah, I mean that's high school or even college football 101 is that you make the homecoming game a game that you expect to win.
Yeah. And
which I believe it would be I'm guessing it's the Sockesty game for Carolina Forest, correct?
Yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually. It is Sockesty. I know that for sure.
Which is funny because it's also senior night because it's the last home game of the season.
Right.
So,
but I mean, it's not like those festivities don't ever really lap. They do them before they do senior night before the game and homecoming at halftime.
Yeah.
So going into the second half, we already kind of said the defense. What I would do if I was the coaches, but one is going to be seeing what they do to stop the passing game, and another thing is going to be what the Panthers or what the Conway Tigers do on defense to stop the running game because they just got absolutely ran through.
Yeah,
and literally, Ethan Hamilton has 0 passing attempts because of the flag. So
yeah.
So he's sitting here with 0 passing attempts, and this offense is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like we talked about before, this is the type of offense that Mark Morris loves running, is he doesn't need the passing game.
Right. But it's not even the fact that it's a wing T offense. It's literally it's dynamic and you're on the outside.
Spread offense,
right.
But it's a run-first spread offense.
Yeah.
It's essentially like the Oregon offense back in the day.
Yeah. I almost want to compare it to like a West Coast offense where it's either a big play out on the middle of the field or it's a check down. Check down, but it's like a 3 to 4 or 5 yard game. But I mean, obviously this game it's been a little bit different. But I mean, it's been like that for the Carolina Forest offense. It's either been a 75-yard touchdown run or it's been a 3-yard game.
So I forget if we talked about this during the pregame show, but especially with you go to Carolina Forest, but you live in Conway technically.
Yeah.
So
it's not. I live in the city of Conway. I live in the city of Conway.
What is this like? I know the bigger rivalry because it's been around longer is Conway Myrtle Beach, but how has this rivalry developed over the years?
I think Conway is in denial. I don't think they because Carolina Forest for 10 straight years was the little brother.
Because I mean, starting off the rivalry,
it was 10 straight Conway wins from 1999 to 2009. Yep. So it was definitely Carolina Forest being the little brother, and it wasn't even really a rivalry.
Yeah, until recently. Because now it's the Panthers have won 5 of the last 6 matchups.
So it's one of those things where I think this Carolina Forest team is kind of making it a rivalry.
Yes.
But you could also make the argument that Carolina Forest now doesn't consider this a rivalry because of how
dominant they've been, yeah.
So I think it's going to it eventually will get that much, maybe down the line if both these schools stay open.
Well,
because you got to think at some point this area is just going to get too big to house these schools anymore.
Yeah,
and depending on where a new school is built, one of these schools is probably going down to 4A.
Yeah.
So you just got to figure which one is it going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So for as long as they are in the region, I think the rivalry will continue.
Yeah.
But I mean, my mom texted me before the game, and she was going to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
She had a Carolina Forest shirt on. She was getting some stank looks.
Yeah.
It's not a Conway Myrtle Beach or a Stratford Somerville from what I've seen from people down there.
Or Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle.
Right. But I think maybe as time goes on, it gets to that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe because every rivalry has its chippy moments.
Exactly.
I don't think we've seen that.
Yeah,
in this
we haven't
rivalry yet.
quite gotten to that level yet.
However, I think.
Well, also, I think a big part of that, outside of maybe like a couple of years ago, but there hasn't really been a time where both teams have been good.
Really good, yeah.
It's either been, for so long, in the
Conway.
beginning it was Conway just utterly dominating the young team, the young program. But now it's Carolina Forest being the dominant one and Conway being on this very big slump where they didn't even make the playoffs last season.
Right.
As we are just about set to get the second half underway.
I thought they did make the playoffs last year because Saukesty was in.
Okay,
as the 5 seed.
you're right. You're right.
They played Wando in the extra not the auto bid, but
you're right. Yeah.
Large bid.
I forgot that the format changed last season and
right.
Everyone in Region 5 made it. As the kickoff is up by J.J. Chaddock, and he'll just boot it to the back of the end zone, and it will be fair caught in the end zone. Conway starting on offense at the 20-yard line.
And this, again, it'll be an early test for this Carolina Forest defense, as I don't see Abach on the field.
Yeah, I do not see Abach on the field. Jimenez is out there.
But I think with the emergence of Albach, I think that allows Mark Morris to rotate his defensive line, which in turn makes them a lot more fresh whenever they come on.
Which, pistol set, they'll hand it off to to Washington, and he'll get taken down after a gain of a couple.
And there's two late flags after the play. I wonder if it's going to be on the tackle, but I didn't really see a whole lot on it.
We'll have to wait to see what the call is. But what you mentioned right there, that could help one of the big issues. If only they knew about Abach back when they were facing Somerville and Oceanside and South Florence, that stamina issue that they had in those games.
Yeah.
And
unsportsmanlike on Carolina Forest.
Oh, wow.
There's a Conway player down. I believe it was the ball carrier, and I think he got a wind knocked out of him.
Yeah. So they'll push Conway all the way up to the 45-yard line.
36-yard line.
Oh, 36-yard line.
Well, in between the 36 and 35.
Yeah.
But I hope it's just the wind knocked out of him because there's a whole huddle of Conway players around the guy.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait to see.
You hope it's just the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah. So we'll take a quick break while they attend to the downed Conway player, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
They finally get the Conway player up, and he will walk off the field on his own power, which is a good sign.
Definitely with a limp, though. That's the discouraging part is the fact he's walking with a limp.
But they will get play underway once again. 1st and 10, ball on the 36-yard line of Conway. It'll be 1st and 10.
In every game so far, we've seen the Carolina Forest defense make a big play. We're still waiting on that huge play from this Carolina Forest defense. We'll see where we can get it.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. 3-step drop for Granger. Granger will just dump it off. It is caught along the sideline and pushed out of bounds after a loss of 1. Panthers make a big stop right there, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
And I don't know that it was exactly what I said, but I'm seeing Carson Quant, who's lining up in like that slot cornerback role.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have anyone in the slot to guard, and he floated to the middle of the field. And I wonder if that's kind of what I was
they're
talking
kind of
about.
doing sort of what you were talking about.
But it'll be interesting to see like on a more developed passing play.
Pistol set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off to Washington. Washington tries to get around the corner, still on his feet, pushes forward to the 41-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 4. 3rd and 5.
And Carson Quan on that tackle as well. So we've seen a lot. We're seeing him in the place of Ronnie Walker, and he's playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Outside of, I think, the one miscommunication on the deep pass that was incomplete that he made the play back to.
Mm-hmm.
I think outside of that, he's played really well.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Granger, 3-step drop, getting some pressure, trying to get away from the defender and throws it, and it is incomplete.
There's a flag down near the line of scrimmage as well, so this could be a holding penalty.
Tried to get it to Jordan Jenkins, and some great pressure by Joseph Dial right there, getting into Granger's face.
Holding on Conway.
It will be a holding on Conway, but I would have to imagine that they will decline it.
I know. See, if I'm Mark Morris, they're going to they're
going to decline it.
But if I'm Mark Morris there, I might even accept that because it's 4th and 5. You might as well. They're going to bring the punt.
Yeah, I was just going to say, at this portion of the field.
I might have accepted that only because to take away this risk of
potentially going for it.
Yeah.
I understand that. I think he was just, because of how well the defense has played, I think he was pretty sure that if he keeps them where they are, they're going to punt it.
Yeah.
It's too risky with the ball on the Conway 40 to go for it there, especially with how well the Carolina Forest defense has played over the last few drives.
And remember, the last time they punted, it was a muffed punt, and the Conway got the ball back, so we'll see how this ends.
High snap. The punt is off, and the Panthers will just let it roll. It's a very low and short punt, and it will roll out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So the Panthers will start on offense for the first time in the second half.
And I think this defense is finally settling into this game.
Yeah.
Right now. And we're seeing that flip of the switch on that defensive side. If it hadn't been for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty,
it would have been 3 and out.
It would have been 3 and out.
Yeah.
theoretically. Saukesty actually just scored to open it within the first 40 seconds of the game.
Second
half. Saukesty up 21-14.
Wow.
11 minutes ago.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side for Carolina Forest. Hamilton hands it off to Johnson. Johnson tries to get through, but gets taken down at the 32-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and 5.
And I know we've been accustomed in this game to seeing the Panthers run the ball just all over, but a 4-yard gain is not bad. It's not a bad run.
No. I mean, in a normal game, it's definitely not. This game, it feels lax, though. Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. This time, Johnson gets a hole, and he is gone. Finally gets taken down at the 47-yard line of Conway, and that's another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And that's why it feels like 4 yards has just been
Yes.
lackadaisical, because when Khalil Johnson's running like that, it just doesn't matter.
You know what's funny? In the beginning of the season, we were talking about, like, being perfectly fine with just running 3 yards in a cloud of dust type running. This offense has become much more dynamic running the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off to Jaron Fox. He'll push forward and gets taken down at the 40-yard line for a gain of 6.
And, again, when you have a change of pace back like Jaron
Yeah.
Fox, it is just so easy to wear a defense down. When you have Jaron Fox who just bruises over people and Christopher Livingston who just bruise over people, and then you have Khalil Johnson who just gash them for 22 yards, it's just crazy.
There's nothing a defense can do to stop that.
Oh, yeah.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Hamilton takes a snap. Play action, screen pass out to Mahood. Mahood catches it. He's got a lane down the near side sideline and gets tripped up.
He fumbled at the end of that.
But it will roll out of bounds.
Yeah, he got it back.
Whew. And that will
give me a heart attack.
that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down and put the Panthers in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
What did I say to start this game off?
Screen passes.
Screen passes to get your best players out into space, and that is exactly what we just saw. Finney Mahood out in space, able to get a big gain for his first completion, for Ethan Hamilton's first completion of the game.
The Panthers have yet to have a drive that they have not scored a touchdown on. And it looks like that's going to continue with bunch trips on the far side. They'll run the read option. Hamilton keeps it himself and gets tripped up at the 6-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm first down, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And Jaron Fox got absolutely blown up.
Yeah.
And it was a good read by Ethan Hamilton
Yeah, it
because the defender on the edge was able to just collapse right down on Ethan Hamilton or on Jaron Fox, and Ethan Hamilton was wide open.
Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. This time they will hand it off to Fox. Fox trying to break through, gets held up right at the goal line, just short, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. And a Conway defender is slow to get up, but he is up now, and looks like he'll be okay.
Do we have a Christopher Livingston sighting again?
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean,
Jaron Fox still out there.
On the 1-yard line, you assume.
You would think,
As
and a
timeout. Referee timeout for the injured player.
Okay.
On Conway. Looks like number 44.
That is number 44, Jaden Stubbs.
I can't tell what it is. I think it might be they're looking at his calf. It could
Yeah.
be a cramp of some sort. But this offense just it is just so easy. It makes the defense just that much easier. It makes defense so much easier when you know your offense is going to go down and score.
Yeah.
It's like almost a circulating energy source.
Mm-hmm.
One fuels the other, then the other, and it just keeps on going, and it gets faster and faster and faster, and at some point, there's just no stopping it. It's just going to keep getting better. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now in this Carolina Forest offense and defense now. Defense has gotten 2 stops in a row, and I think in a large part is because the offense is just on all cylinders.
Yeah, and it's much easier to play defense knowing even if you do make a mistake, the offense can pick you back up.
2 minutes ago, Socastee scores another touchdown.
Wow, so
Rocco
28-14?
Yeah, 28-14, a 3-yard touchdown rush from Rocco, extending the lead to 14 from Socastee. So maybe St. James is the
odd man out again.
We always are waiting for the year that they're not the odd man out.
Which was last year, yeah, finally.
But it just always feels like they just start out kind of strong and then they taper off.
Yeah.
And
which, although that might make, depending upon how obviously next week goes, but that may make the final game of the season kind of interesting because they're just going to be focused on playing spoiler.
Right. As Jaron Fox is going to take the handoff, and he goes right up the middle, and he'll be just short.
He gets held up at the goal line, and it will be 3rd and goal from the 1. Surprising that we're not seeing Livingston out there.
It is a little surprising, and here comes Khalil Johnson, actually, so not using Livingston right here, but
especially with how well he did on those 2 goal line tries, just plowing people over.
And now you got – I'm not going to do it a 3rd time. There's no way I do it a 3rd time. But
are you calling a speed option again?
You know what? I'll do it, but I'm not expecting it to actually be right. I'm speed option right here, Khalil Johnson.
They'll motion Ober from the far side to the near side. You got it right, and Hamilton just decides to take it himself into the end zone, breaks it inside for the touchdown.
If you can't tell I'm excited about that.
I would, because as soon as you said it, especially with the fact that they brought Khalil Johnson into the game, I was like, go ahead and say it, because you're probably right.
Just an absolute masterclass in predicting the offensive play calls. At least the speed option, anyway.
Yes. The extra point by Chaddock is up and good. And with 6:21 left to go in the 3rd quarter, it is now 35-10. Panthers in the lead. And now with both sides running on all cylinders, you have to wonder, do we get close to adding this game to the list of top blowouts?
I think it could get close to the top scoring. But I don't think we get. Especially with how I don't think the offense is out. The first team offense is out for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be one of those things where, it just is going to depend on who's out there for how long. If Khalil Johnson's out there for the rest of this game, I think we could get there. But it's going to depend on how long he stays out and how long this offense is actually trying to score.
But I mean, obviously we've only seen 3 backs thus far. You could see the 4th and 5th backs. But even though he's only gotten a few carries and they've all been at the goal line, Christopher Livingston still has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it's not like even the lower end backs are doing poorly.
And we talked about Khalil Johnson getting over the 1,000-yard mark this week. He's already over it. As J.J. Chaddock's going to boot it deep again and just he's going to be in the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback. Conway will start at the 20. And, again, it is kind of confusing why they don't do this.
Why they don't do that all the time, yeah.
Yeah, Khalil Johnson at 180 yards right now. Or 185, I should say, to be exact. But it's just been an absolute masterclass by this running offense.
So Conway will try to get something going on offense. Haven't been able to do anything in their last few drives. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Granger, high snap, speed option, pitches it out, and it's almost fumbled. But Washington is able to recover, but he gets taken down for a loss of 1.
Number 20, I believe that's Gary Tomlin. I could be wrong.
Number 20. Yes. Oh, no, Riker Roberts.
Riker Roberts, I excuse me. Riker Roberts on that play right there, and he blew that one up immediately.
Yeah. Jimenez gets taken out, and
Is Albach in?
yeah, Albach comes in for, or actually no, that's Jaden Peak that comes in to replace Jimenez. They'll run the speed option again, pitches it out, and getting pushed out of bounds at around the 20-yard line. Right at the 20-yard line is Washington. And that'll make it a 3rd and 8.
And this defense has been firing on all cylinders in this half, and that's been the best part of this offense, or of this game so far. These past 3 drives by Carolina Forest, going into the half with a touchdown, then getting a stop, and then getting a touchdown and stop in the second half.
They'll put 2 run. Oh, never mind. They move one of them out into the wide receiver position. 3 wide on the near side. Shotgun set, rolling out to his left, looking to throw, and throwing it deep, and it is incomplete.
What a play.
A great job, but now coming up a little weak
is Carson Kwan.
Which
is important to note because he's coming in for the injured Ronnie Walker. And he's jogging on.
Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, he looks like he's fine, but that's something to keep an eye on is can Carson Quant continue to play after this drive?
So that'll bring up a 4th and 9, and Conway will be forced to punt again, and another 3 and out for Carolina Forest defensively.
And again, Carson Quant making a big play in the replacement of Ronnie Walker. As the punt is up, and it's a wobbly one, but it's going to get some good yardage, and it'll take a Conway roll right down to the 37-yard line, and that's where Carolina Forest will take over.
But, I mean, that's a good sign for Carolina Forest, though, that for 2 straight weeks now, as a result of injuries, they've had to bring in someone new defensively, and they've produced.
Oh, yeah. But that should show you the depth of the team as well.
Exactly. So the Panthers will try to score once again. They have scored on every single offensive drive this evening. 35-10 with 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Play action, screen pass out to the Mahood. Mahood gets a block and gets pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
And again, we are seeing the next, I think, evolution of this offense.
Yeah.
A screen pass out to Finney Mahood every once in a while is good for the offense. Again, get your best players into space. It's pretty simple, to be honest with you.
They'll mark him out at the 44-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 3.
I mean, how many times have I said that this year? Get Finney Mahood and Hayden Souls into space to stretch out the defense.
They'll go shotgun set with 3 wide on the near side this time. Hamilton gets a snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson bounces it out to the outside on the far side and gets pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That'll be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. A good counter run by Johnson on that play.
Yeah, really good counter run, and this blocking has just been tremendous. It starts in the trenches, and I think Carolina Forest has very decidedly won the trenches on both sides of the football today.
They'll mark him out at the 46-yard line. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Hamilton. And a whistle's blown. It'll be an offside on Conway.
And to be honest, it's been a pretty penalty-free game. Outside of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I've liked how Carolina Forest has stayed out of the penalty column.
Yeah, which is a good sign moving forward into next week.
Remember the West Brunswick game where it just seemed like every other play was a penalty?
Yeah. Well, that was the beginning of the season. So
when we said
opener jitters. So it'll be 1st and 5 from the 41-yard line for Carolina Forest on Conway's 41. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Hamilton takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, and he trips and will get taken down for a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 7.
And I'll tell you what, that's the first negative play for this Carolina Forest offense.
Yeah.
That is how good this Carolina Forest offense has been, as Christopher Livingston's actually going to come into the game now.
Hamilton looking over to the sideline for a play. They'll go shotgun set with one wide on either side. H-back and tight end move from near side to far side. Hands it off to Livingston. That was Livingston. And he gets a gain of about 8 or 9, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. And I think, like you mentioned before, I think now they're kind of not really taking their foot off the gas pedal, but just bringing in some backups.
When your foot off the gas pedal is including a guy who has 2 touchdowns already, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Livingston still out there. Hamilton takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking, rolls out to his left, still looking, and he just throws it away.
Ooh. No, he was throwing it to Finian Mahood in the corner, at the front corner of the end zone. It was incomplete, and I'll tell you what, rolling to his left, throws back across his body towards that corner. That's a really well-placed ball. Finian Mahood just a little slow to get out there, which, I mean, there's not much more you can do about that, but that was a heck of a throw by Finian Mahood.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Also, a good adjustment by Finian Mahood because his route didn't take him all the way to the corner, but he was able to sense that Ethan Hamilton was in trouble and finish out that route all the way to the corner.
Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. They'll hand it off to Livingston, and he will get taken down at around the 27-yard line, and that'll make it 3rd and 4.
And this should tell you just how deep this running back room is. Now you have Quavius John coming in, but Christopher Livingston is just as capable as Jaron Fox.
And even Quavius Drawn, I could see him, or even Quavon Ward coming in and doing something. That's how deep this running back team is. As they will hand it off to Drawn. Drawn will get the first down and more.
There is a flag in the backfield, though. This one's probably coming back.
Yeah, so this one will probably be a holding call.
But, again, this should show you Quavius Drawn just being Quavius Drawn. He's just able to do what needs to be done to close out a football game. This one's coming back, but just under a minute to go in this game, and Quavius Drawn that should show you where they're at in this game. Yeah. I don't think they're going to take Ethan Hamilton out.
Probably not, but you don't know. We're under a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter, maybe in the 4th.
Maybe, but I wouldn't. I mean, it's not like you're really running an offense where Ethan Hamilton's going to get absolutely
hit all that much.
You know what I mean? Like, I say you keep him in and just not run as many speed options and triple options and stuff of that nature where he's carrying the ball.
So the penalty was a holding call on Carolina Forest, so it's 3rd and 11 now. Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. Hamilton looking for a play. Gets a snap and runs a speed option, keeping it himself. Now cuts it inside and will get taken down at the 30-yard line. And you were saying? This was an opposite one.
Yeah, this one was I was thinking to maybe keep Ethan Hamilton not in the line of fire, but I mean, Ethan Hamilton's just going to do what he wants to do anyway, and that's going to end the 3rd quarter.
Yep. And one thing that I'm curious about, because we noticed it, the play clocks haven't been running. Are they keeping the play clock on the field?
I would assume so, because Ethan Hamilton right there, he knew they were running down the play clock.
Oh, okay.
He was snapping he was clapping his hands pretty frequently.
Oh, okay.
pretty frantically.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break and come right back with the fourth quarter. 35-10, Panthers in the lead.
Comfort Dog Grooming Salon has been part of the Carolina Forest community pet grooming needs with quality and loving care for your pets for over 15 years. Large, medium, or small, they groom them all. They've always accepted new clients, and rebooking is easy. With 31 years experience with their staff, they're up to date on techniques and safety standards for all breeds, and the medical conditions are no problem. They're active in your community with youth sports and lending a helping hand. Call them to be a part of the family with your furry friend. 843-903-4554 or at ComfortDogSalon.com. Or just stop by with your furry friend at 4006 Postal Way, Myrtle Beach.
Start of the fourth quarter with the Panthers in pretty firm control of this game, up 35-10.
You know who's not in firm control of the game?
Sockasty.
Sockasty just gives up another touchdown to St. James. It's currently 20-21 with 11 minutes to go as of 4 minutes ago.
That could be a nail biter at the end.
It could. So we're assuming Khalil Johnson's day is over.
Yes.
Khalil Johnson, 192 rushing yards.
Oh, now I kind of just want him to get in the game just to get at least
200.
one more run and get 200.
Yeah. I'd rather have him for the next 10 games when we go to the playoffs.
True.
Not that it would be 10 games, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Quavius
drawn out there in the running back position.
It is one of those where you'd rather have him for the rest of the season instead of the next 12 minutes of game time.
True. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Hamilton takes the snap. Thought about going for the read option. Now rolls out to his left, throwing it into the back of the end zone, but too far.
And that
intended for Finney and Mahood.
There's a flag down.
Not sure what the play was supposed to be on that because
it was a play action. It was play. He set up in a passing stance to start out.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like he was going for the speed option at first and then rolled back out.
Yeah. It was a penalty on CF. Conway's going to decline, and they'll take over at the 30-yard line.
Oh, that was fourth down.
It was fourth down. At the 29-yard line, excuse me.
So Conway will start with the ball at the 29-yard line. So that was the first drive that the Panthers did not score on in this game.
That's pretty crazy. And we're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Shotgun set, two wide on the far side, one on the near side. Granger takes the snap, hands it off, bounce, trying to get around the corner, and getting close to the first down is Trayvon Washington.
And
actually, that was Cadillac Brantley with the carry.
And I'll tell you what, we haven't called Washington's name a lot, and that's not surprising. I mean, this defense is really good.
Yeah.
But that's a very big step down from where he was last week.
And they will actually say that Brantley got the first down. So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 38-yard line.
And looking to the sideline. So it's interesting. I don't know how much the play clock is, so I don't know.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, it seems like they've been given a lot more time as they'll run a pass play, caught on a post route, and he's gone. One man to beat, and a great job
by Xavion Wins.
Coming from behind and taking Jenkins down, but it is enough for a Conway first down.
Yeah, that's there was someone who made a jump for the ball. Almost again, we mentioned Trayvon Diggs. It was almost like that where it's either he was going for the ball and just missed, and that allowed the slant to come back behind him and get a big gain.
Pistol set, two wide on the far side. Granger looking over to the sideline for a play call. High snap. Granger looks to pass it, and it is caught in the end zone for a touchdown.
And that one just went right over the head of Jonathan Rivas.
Yeah.
It just went right over his head, and the slant coming in behind him was just wide open. And it looks I think
They might be going for 2 here.
no. I think they're kicking the extra point. I don't think it would really. I don't think. I mean, it wouldn't really.
Wouldn't really
them.
matter at this point. I mean,
Actually, yes, it would.
they're close. Yeah.
It would be a 16-point game, right? If I do.
Yeah.
No.
No, 17
No,
point.
17-point game.
Yeah. They are
Gonna kick the extra point.
going to kick the extra point. Snap. Kick is good. And with 10:40 left to go in the game, it is 35-17. Panthers in the lead.
Yeah. Even though it's only the beginning of the fourth quarter, I'd still say we're pretty much in garbage time.
Yeah.
But that was still the starting defense. So there is something to be said about that drive. But with how the offense is played, I'm not really I'm not concerned about a comeback.
Yeah. So the Panthers will get the ball back, see if they, I mean, not that it really matters at this point, but see if they try to put on some more points on the board with 10:40 left to go in the game.
I'm trying to find an update on the Socastee St. James game.
Cohen Emmerich gets ready to kick it away. And he'll
onside
kick it, and the Panthers will come up with it.
Almost didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
That was a really good onside kick, to be honest with you, but just was not able to.
Good job by the Panthers falling on it.
And whoever it was that was trying to recover it is down, and he's hurting.
That's
number 3. It was number 3. I don't know.
Number 3. Well, for Carolina Forest?
No, Sumter.
You mean
Or,
Conway?
Conway, Jesus.
Getting a little ahead of yourself?
Yeah. I see. Now I'm doing it.
That is Justin Hill.
Yeah, Justin Hill's down on the ground. Yeah, okay, so no one's going to know this, but the Stall Warriors, they're a team in the Charleston region.
Yep.
They went 0-9 last year. They're horrible.
Yep.
They're playing Somerville tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Guess the score. End of third quarter.
50-0.
69-0.
Six.
Just absolutely obliterating.
That's
a pretty nice score, to be honest with
Yes,
you.
it is. Yes.
It's a pretty nice score.
It is.
But yeah, 69-0 versus the Stall Warriors. Because they're a really big powerhouse in 5A, the Stall Warriors. But yeah, Conway player is still down, so I am still trying to find a God-blessed score for this game. I don't think there's been an update because I have them up on the feed. Like I have them on the feed. Pause for a second.
So we'll take a quick break with the injured player on the field.
Actually, I have an update. Socastee just scored a 20-yard touchdown pass, pushing the lead back up to 14. Socastee 35, St. James 21, with 9.5 to go in the fourth.
Okay.
So there you go.
So we'll take a quick break and come right back with the rest of the fourth quarter here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So Justin Hill is able to walk off the field on his own power, but definitely with a bit of a limp. And so hope for the best for him, and we're just about set to get underway once again.
And you might have gotten your wish because Khalil Johnson's back in the game.
Let's get 200.
Let's get 200. 8 more yards.
Yeah.
It's like if you have him on your fantasy team and you have a 200-point bonus, that's what you want.
Yep. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side for Carolina Forest. Ball on the 43-yard line of the Panthers.
And with how he's been running it, you got to assume
You have to imagine he's going to get it. Probably on this run. Snap, hands it off to Khalil Johnson, and
not going to get it.
Just a yard short. Maybe a couple of yards short. Gets a 6-yard gain. So just needs 2 more.
2 more yards.
Actually, they'll say it was a 5-yard gain, so 3 yards.
So 3 yards. Because that's really hard for Khalil Johnson to get.
Oh, yeah.
But it's I'm glad that Mark Morris is making this adjustment now, because the past couple weeks we've seen Khalil Johnson be out for multiple drives, and all of a sudden the game is close again, and you're scrapping to get back to a comfortable lead.
No, Hamilton will keep it himself. He'll get the first. Right at the line to gain. We'll see where they mark it.
I believe forward progress.
I would say yes, but we'll have to wait to see what the refs say. And they will say it is enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina 4. Oh wait, actually no, I take that.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I saw
slow.
the move, but
they're being slow.
Yeah. So that will be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina 4's first down. 1st and 10, ball on the 47-yard line of Conway.
Right at 9.5 minutes to go, and I'm sure Carolina Force is just taking their grand old time.
Oh, yeah.
To salt this clock away.
And hey, with no play clock, who knows what's going on? They could run a whole minute off. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand off to Khalil Johnson. There's your 200 yards.
And on a gain of about
8
9 as well.
Yeah, 8 or 9. Yeah, they'll give him 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 from the 38-yard line.
A little over 200 yards on 19 carries. Just absolutely ridiculous.
So over 10 yards
over
a
10
carry.
yards a carry. Absolutely crazy.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Hamilton takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson again. This time he bounces it inside and gets taken down at the 31-yard line.
So now that we're officially at 20 carries, I'm going to give you the official 214 yards on 20 carries. So if that should tell you, it's a little over 10.
10 point, like 8.
Stuff, yeah. 10 point a little bit.
Hamilton looking over to the sideline for a play. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Hamilton takes the snap, hands it off again to Johnson. Johnson finds the lane. He's gone, and he gets taken down at the 5-yard line.
What a run. It
looked like he was held up.
Right, and then he just out of nowhere, he's able to explode.
He just found a tiny gap in that defensive front and exploited it.
And that'll definitely help the average on that 26-yard carry, as he's going to get taken out now, and Quavius Drawn's going to go into the game.
So that'll be another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 5.
And that's a great run by Khalil Johnson right there. We've seen that so many times this year. Is just he's able to turn something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And it's really helped this Carolina Forest offense.
They'll hand it off to Drawn. Drawn tries to find a lane of his own, and he does, and he'll just scamper into the end zone for the touchdown.
So I'm not a mathematician by any means, if you've listened to before.
As we've noticed.
But I'd say 6 touchdowns on 7 drives is pretty good.
Pretty good. That would be, what, about 85%?
Something like
that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
With 7.5 minutes left to go in the game, the extra point by J.J. Chaddock is up and good, and it is now 42-17. Panthers leading it. Probably won't get added on to one of the top.
Yeah, one of the top
blowouts or anything like that. But it's still
a pretty handy win.
A very good performance for the Panthers tonight.
Yeah. And again, like I've said, Khalil Johnson's just having his way
Yeah.
with this Conway defense.
Now, the big test, obviously,
Coming
not
next
only
week.
for him, but for the Panthers team as a whole, to see if they've learned from what happened in non-region play, is going to be next week.
Right. And now, I think next week is going to be a really good game.
Yes. I do not. I think it's going to be a down to the wire type game. I could see it going like how the game was in 2020 where it went into overtime.
I could see it going like that. But with how good this offense has looked, and honestly, the offense looked good last year. With how good the defense has played,
is the key.
It will be interesting to see how this Panthers defense
Well, and
does.
something else to take into consideration is Sumter does not have the same sort of dynamic pieces that they've had in years past. As the
JJ Chaddock will
he'll
get another
just
touchback.
boot it into the end zone. They don't have any players right now, at least according to my research thus far, on their senior class at least, that is getting any Division I offers.
Which you'd have to assume if there's none on the senior team that not a whole lot is on the.
There's only one right now that I know of that's getting some looks. And surprise, surprise, he's an edge rusher.
So that will hurt a little bit. But again, like we said with the Oceanside player or the South Florence player, you just run away from him, and it's not that hard.
And you'd have to imagine it's going to be D1 against D1 again, where it's going to be him lining up opposite of Philip McLean.
And we saw how he did against. I forget his name from. South Florence, but we saw how he did, and he did really well against him.
Amari Adams.
Amari Adams, thank you.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll throw a screen pass, and he just gets held up.
What a play by Jordan Sandiford right there.
And they're going to say he lost a yard, I believe.
That's a really good play by Jordan Sandiford.
Yeah.
He read it and was able to beat a block out to get that tackle for loss.
They will say he lost a couple, actually, and it'll be 2nd and 12. And that's a name that we haven't called all that much this season.
But we have called his name more often.
Yes, more often recently,
these past
which
3
is a good
games
thing.
have been he's played really well in.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side, 1 on the near side. Granger takes a snap, 3-step drop, rolls out to his left, looking deep.
Picked.
And it's picked. And could he go all the way? No, but Jamori Davis with the pick and brings it out into the red zone, down to the 19-yard line.
What a play by Jamari Davis right there. And he perfectly undercut that interception, that throw, too.
Yeah. And this defense in the second half has just turned it on.
It's been a tale of 2 halves.
Yes.
And it's been the better of the tale of 2 halves than you were used to seeing.
Yeah. Which is a good sign going into next week.
It is.
So the Panthers once again in the red zone.
And they're going to send, I don't know, they're sending Jaron Fox out.
Okay.
So Jamari Davis joins Xavion Wins as the only 2 players this season to have an INT. Even though Xavion Wins was at the end of – actually, it might have been Charles McCray. I'm going to fact-check myself.
Yeah. I believe it was –
No, it was Wins.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Wins at the end of the half last year.
Yeah.
Actually, Xavion Wins has 2 INTs this year.
Yeah.
So Xavion Wins with 2, Jamari Davis with 1, which I don't even think we had 1 last year. Not that I
we
remember.
did.
Which game? Do you remember?
Unless this was in the CMB, I know there was a pick that started off a game.
That was the CMB last season. Mm-hmm. It was that one. But I mean, it's preseason.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't remember if we had a pick last
I don't think
season.
we did.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. But again, that just goes to show you
how much better the defense has gotten. Oh, there was a penalty.
I would assume. Okay, so
okay.
That's why so both penalties were on Conway.
Yeah.
And so
that'll move the Panthers up even further, and they will start this drive on the 11-yard line.
It'll actually be.
Oh no, they're marking
it. It'll be a dead ball foul. So
yeah.
that's even further up.
So they're gonna.
It should be a 10. It should be a. They're starting
15 yard, I believe. Yeah,
and they're going to bring Drawn in instead of Jaron Fox.
So they're going to start this drive at the 5-yard line. So you have to imagine they're going to score pretty quickly again here.
Just an absolute masterclass by this Carolina Forest defense in the second half.
Hamilton looking for a play call at the sideline. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. With Drawn in the backfield with Hamilton. Hamilton takes a snap, hands it. Oh no, he did hand it off to Drawn, but he gets way late in the backfield for a loss of 3. There's another flag on the play, however. So we'll have to see what the call is on this flag.
And maybe they won't, maybe Quavius Drawn will not lose the yardage, but it'll probably still go backwards.
Yes. 6 minutes left to go in the game. 42-17 Panthers leading this one.
It's a long ref conversation for this part of the game.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to go home.
Now everyone's just like, let's get out of here. We're ready to go.
I think even Conway's trying to say, let's get out of here.
Yeah. This one's over. And another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Carolina Forest.
But it's offsiding with Conway.
Okay.
But so you'll replay second down.
So was there an unsportsmanlike on Conway as well?
It was offsetting.
I didn't see him point at Conway, so. So we'll replay the down. First and goal from the 9-yard line.
No, it was a dead ball foul. So
okay.
The negative 4 yards still counts.
So it'll be second and goal from the 9, actually.
Okay, that makes more sense. First time a ref has made sense this year. Not kidding.
Oh, I know.
So I'm going to try to interview Mark Morris this week. I'm going to ask him about his opinion on the refs, and I guarantee you he's going to give me some coach answer like, we don't care about the refs. But we all know that's not how he truly thinks.
He'll hand it off to Drawn, and he'll get taken down at the 5-yard line.
So back and forth, back to the
original line, pretty much. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
Now, they had a similar situation for the first drive of the game, and they ran speed option.
Probably not this time.
I wouldn't say that, but you know what? Just for the heck of it, I'm going to call it.
Okay.
The speed option, Quavius Drawn.
Let's see.
They're lined up in the same formation, too, with Joe Ober in that fullback position. Nope.
They're just going to hand it off to Drawn, and he tries to dive forward, but will get held up just short of the goal line. And it'll be 4th and goal from the 2. And
I just want them to score just so they keep that 6 out of that. It would be 7 out of 8.
7 out of 8, yeah.
Streak alive.
They're going to go for it here, which makes sense.
Makes sense. I mean, you're at the 2-yard line and you're just trying to run off some clock.
Yeah. 4.5 minutes left to go in the game. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. Hamilton takes the snap, hands it off to Drawn, and he just steps into the end zone for the touchdown.
And, I mean, that's about as power as you're going to get.
Yeah. But it was more so offensive line power. He was just given a wide open lane to just waltz his way into the end zone.
Ooh, waltz. I like that. Do you know how to – never mind. I'm just going to stop myself. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, God.
J.J. Chaddick getting ready to kick the extra point.
There's a
penalty.
Nope. Conway tried to ice him. I'm just playing. It's a flag. There's a flag. Encroachment.
It'll be on Conway. So push him up a yard.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to decline it. PAT's good.
Oh, okay. They just declined it.
Maybe not?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
okay. Well,
Nope.
no, they're going to decline it, but they still have to re-kick it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great.
Because the whistle was blown, right
Yeah.
on the snap, so the kick didn't count. And
A little bit of a mistime is good.
The kick is good.
Snap was the hold was a little off by Finney the Hood, but he was still able to corral it and get it in.
So with 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the game, it is 49-17. We'll take a quick break, come right back with the finale of this
Route,
yes. Here in Conway, here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Comfort Dog Grooming Salon has been part of the Carolina Forest community pet grooming needs with quality and loving care for your pets for over 15 years. Large, medium, or small, they groom them all. They've always accepted new clients, and rebooking is easy. With 31 years experience with their staff, they're up to date on techniques and safety standards for all breeds, and the medical distance are no problem. They're active in your community with youth sports and lending a helping hand. Call them to be a part of the family with your furry friend, 843-903-4554, or at ComfortDogSalon.com, or just stop by with your furry friend at 4006 Postal Way, Myrtle Beach.
4 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in this one, with the Panthers leading at 49-17.
So, in the Sockesty game, 4 minutes ago, as the kick by J.J. Chaddick is going to be a touchback. So 4 minutes ago in the Sockesty game, Sockesty was up, or Schwalm had a passing touchdown to cut the lead to 7. Sockesty, that was with 5 minutes ago. Sockesty just fumbled to give the ball back to St. James a minute ago. And according to Joe Wedger, he didn't give a timestamp or an actual field position, but it's 35-28 with those Sharks having the ball and good field position. So I'll keep refreshing his page.
That game may go either right down to the wire or maybe even into overtime.
So I will, if the game isn't decided by the time we're over here,
which it probably won't.
It probably won't be, but I'll keep an eye on it and I'll repost anything that happens.
Yeah.
I'll retweet it and whatnot.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand it off to Washington, and he'll get held up just about at the line to gain. Maybe got 1 yard, so it'll be 2nd and 9.
And I'll tell you what, there's not a whole lot of tackles that happened in this game because it's been out of bounds runs and stuff of that nature. But this defense overall has played really well.
Yes.
And Jamari Davis is coming out of the game, so this is really the second string defense now.
Yeah, I don't think there are any starters out on the field still.
I think Jonathan Rivas is still out in the middle linebacker position, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot.
High snap will hand it off to Washington, and he will get maybe a gain of 2. I'll say he got 1, and it'll be a 3rd and 9.
No.
What?
St. James scores a touchdown, but goes for 2 and misses. Wow. 35-34. That was with 4:28 to go. So there's still time. There's definitely still time.
Why would they go for 2 with that much time left?
Maybe
on the
their
clock?
defense has played really well and they want. They're still in field goal range. So it's not like, or they're still in a 1-score game.
Yeah. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off, and a big gap opens up, and a big gain by Brantley for a first down for Conway.
And, we're getting into the waning minutes of this one. 2:42 to go, and Conway still got 32 points to make up. I don't think we're in any danger right
That was
right
actually P.J. Graham with that run. So Conway also going deep into their depth chart.
Not that it's region, but Myrtle Beach beats Hartsville 24-21 just for the
Wow,
area.
that's kind of surprising considering Myrtle Beach is kind of having a down year. As keeping it himself, I believe that's Casson Reed out there for Conway at quarterback. And he'll get a gain of 4. But, especially with how well Hartsville played South Florence last week, surprising that Myrtle Beach beat them.
Yep. Another score kind of closer to here, actually. Dillon 42, Ainer 16, so that's not surprising. But just trying to keep up with scores around the area.
Yeah.
Since we only have one game to look at in
the region, yeah. Yeah, the region schedule gets much lighter when it comes to the out-of-town scoreboard because there's only one other game that you have to worry about. As
the read option
trips up on the read option, and he'll lose 1. Minute and a half left to go in the game.
All right, come on, guys. I need to use the restroom.
Yeah,
this is bad. But I mean, just a good. I think the defense only giving up a touchdown in the second half, and that touchdown didn't happen until the fourth quarter as Carolina Forest jumps off sides. So it'll be 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 8. But I'll tell you what, this defense played so much better than the first half. And even though it's a difference of 3 points, the way they were getting off the field, it was 3 and out, an interception, like plays of that nature. That's the difference, is they were getting kind of long drives from the Conway Tigers offense. As the snap is taken, read option, and Reed will take it for about 2 and will get stopped right in front of the line to gain. But it was long, sustained drives by the Tigers in the first half, even though they only scored 10 points. In the second half, it was the one big play touchdown drive. Outside of that, it's been a couple 3-and-outs and a touchdown or an interception.
And what's good about this game is not only because of what happened during non-region play, as Reed, looking over to the sideline, thought about taking the snap but decides not to. Unlike in non-region play, they were a little weaker in the first half but then got it going in the second half as they'll hand it off. And a gain of maybe 1. And it's going to be a turnover on downs, just short. So the Panthers will get the ball back with 15.9 seconds left to go in the game. And you'd have to imagine they're just going to knee it and finish this game off here.
This was a really good game by the Carolina Forest offense.
What I was going to say was, unlike in non-region play where it was they were playing well in the first half but then struggled in the second, this was reversed. But the fact that they can take this momentum and use it to go into the Sumter game is huge.
Oh, yeah. They're bringing on just people to perform one play of football.
Yeah. And they will... Yeah, they're going to set up in the somewhat victory formation.
A shotgun snap.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, they always do that.
Yeah, but
I don't know why.
For a victory formation, you usually go
Oh,
under
no,
center.
I know this, but for whatever reason, the Panthers always do it, even for the victory formation, and that will end the game. Final score here, 49-17. Panthers win it to open region play with a win for the 9th straight season. And they will move on to the big test next week.
Yeah.
Against Sumter at home, which that may help. But next week pretty much will determine who wins Region 5-5A. Any final words before we sign off?
I'm going to give you a 240 reason why we will beat Sumter next week. That's the rushing yards Khalil Johnson had this week.
Wow.
240. Absolutely cooked the Conway defense, and outside of that, I'm just really excited for next week's game.
Oh, yeah.
And
next week's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll just about wrap it up for us. Once again, the Panthers absolutely put on a thrubbing here against Conway and advance to 4-3 on the season. They will face off against Sumter next week in the battle for Region 5-5A.